I've talked a lot about this before, and people didn't like it too much, like men in particular. But I do think it is a lot harder to date as a woman high earner, and especially as a black woman high earner. And there's a couple of reasons why I think that is the case, but generally speaking, it is harder to date. And in my experience, one thing that I have noticed is that men, when they like come into your sphere, especially if you're someone who's not necessarily like withdrawn or or like quiet per se, right? Like you have opinions and they don't like that, right? And some of them, they just want you to like shut up and be quiet and just be behind them, and that's not me. But also like others of them, they're just jealous, and obviously it's not like they're saying to you, "Oh, I'm jealous," but you can see that they're jealous because they'll make like snide comments, or they'll be like, or like little things along those lines, or some of them I wouldn't attribute this one to jealousy, but just more so like they want to be kept. They'll say like, "You're the one with all the money," you know. And sometimes jokingly, we're just like, "Okay," but that's not a funny joke if I don't know you. So I will say, like, for those reasons, it is a lot harder. But also, another reason it's harder in general, I think, is because once you are making above a certain amount, you usually have a certain kind of lifestyle. And if you want to maintain that lifestyle, but also include your significant other in that lifestyle, they do have to be making within that range, right? I'm not saying that I will only date someone who makes more than me. That's absolutely not the case, but you do need to be probably making, you know, like low to mid six figures, somewhere like 200 or higher, in order for us to have the lifestyle that I envision myself living. And mind you, I'm still
Yesterday's content, I was explaining that a woman will toss away the behavior she needs to keep a man. She will toss that behavior away and she will start crying wolf that no man wants to be with her. Look at this one. She's not unique. The bigger percentage of women that make money, they think that a man has to be their subordinate, rather the other way. You get my point? They want to bring a man to their system rather than go into the system of a man. Even if she is lucky enough to find a man, relationship with women like this do not last because women like this wants a man to bow to them. You get my point? We have in my family, we have a couple of them like that. Omo Babolowo, women who come from money, who come from power. In my family, we have them. Likes like this, they don't end up in a relationship with a man. Likes like this, they eventually end up with husbands of other women. They are side chicks. Mokin Ladeori. Adeori is they do not eventually have their crown. The biggest accomplishment a woman can have in this life is not your occupation or job. No, it is a husband and family. That is your biggest accomplishment. And you know me, I will tell you the blunt truth. If you ask bigger women that are successful, I'm talking about 45, 50, 55, that are single, no husband, no children. If you ask them, every one of them always use this word: I would sacrifice everything just to have a family of my own. Because your biology calls for it. What would never make sense to me is women of my skin complexion, especially those of them in a first world country, they are fond of this. That is why they are not the first choice of any successful man. Women of my skin complexion, they are fond of doing this. When they start making small crumbs of money, 100K, 200, 250, or in woman down, they think they are like superior God. They are fond of speaking down to men. They don't see men pass his wallet. And look at it from this side of you. Toba befon labata, omikolo muku. A successful man that you see that is clean, that has his head on his shoulder, that is level-headed, that is everything is working for him, that man has people working behind the scene to make sure that his display is perfect before your stupid ass came in. So what usually happens is the women in his life before you came in, they will hand over the baton to you to continue protecting that man and making sure that the display of that man is intact. Because that man is going to protect you guys on the large scale. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, who do you blame for women like this to have this mind? It's women of my complexion that are fond of doing this. I have to test his masculinity. To even have a chance with women like this, to even have the audience of talking to calibers like this, you must make money as close as them. You need to, you understand, to some extent, look the part, which is close to 1%, man. And then they will break your ego down to say, now I'm better than you. I can do better than you. But this is harsh reality. You cannot. One of the superpower of a woman is humility. Iteriba is humility. You can make any man in this world do anything that he doesn't want to do. But you can't talk to a man like he's a boy. You cannot speak down to a man. If he's not your type, talk to him like a human being and let him go about his way. But when you see women like this, they will laugh at any man that approach them, like me and you. We have a couple of them in my family. We have a couple of them in my family. But you understand? Even till date, they still don't know how to talk to people like us that, okay, men, solid men. They still don't know how to talk. Their only way of feeling alive is to speak down to a man. Who do you blame? Shomani won Towon Dadani, which would you say that women like this were not raised properly? Obviously, she's raised properly. That's how she ended up like this. But perception of the world, which is everybody must look up to me. Emayole tell, which is tread carefully, man. Tread carefully.